the royal emergency, the twin suns of Virellia shone brightly over the capital city, their light reflecting off the crystal towers of the royal palace. It was the day of the Unity Ceremony, a grand celebration attended by leaders from across the galaxy. In the Great Hall, nobles in jeweled robes and alien dignitaries filled the air with the sound of music and formal speeches. At the center of it all sat Princess Serania, the only daughter of King Valen. She was known across the stars for her grace and wisdom, but as she rose to greet the guests, her steps faltered, a sudden weakness gripped her, and her eyes rolled back. In an instant, she collapsed to the marble floor. The hall erupted in panic. Guards rushed forward, the king's voice booming across the chamber, "Clear the hall. Call the healers." Alien healers in flowing silver robes hurried to the princess's side, their hands glowing with strange medical light. They whispered urgently in their native tongue, their expressions grim. Minutes passed, one by one. The healers stepped back, shaking their heads. The chief healer turned to the king, his voice heavy, "My liege, it is the Ashen Veil sickness. It spreads through the blood, it clouds the lungs. No Virellian has survived it in centuries." The king's eyes hardened. "Find a cure. Spare no expense," he ordered, but the healer lowered his gaze. "There is no cure we know." A tense silence filled the room. Then, from the shadows, the royal advisor stepped forward. "My king, there may be another way." He hesitated, knowing the risk. "There is a human medical officer in the city, Marcus Hale. He is skilled with rare diseases." The king's gaze snapped toward him. "A human?" Here his voice dripped with disdain. "Humans were tolerated on Virellia, but rarely trusted. They are crude, unrefined, ignorant of our ways," he said. But the advisor held firm. "My king, we have hours at most. Let him try, or we lose the princess." The king's jaw tightened. Finally, he gave a short, sharp nod. "Bring him. If she dies, he dies with her." Guards sped through the streets. In a small clinic on the edge of the trade quarter, Dr. Marcus Hale was tending to a minor injury when the door burst open. Two armored guards stepped inside, their weapons gleaming. "You will come with us," one barked. Marcus frowned. "What's this about?" "The princess is dying," the guard replied coldly, "and you are to save her." Within minutes, Marcus was rushed through the palace gates. The corridors were lined with soldiers, the air heavy with tension. When he entered the royal chamber, he saw the princess lying pale and still on a bed of silver silk. Her breathing was shallow, her lips faintly blue. Marcus stepped forward, scanning her quickly. Even without his equipment, he recognized the symptoms. This was similar to a rare human illness he had treated before. It was aggressive, but treatable. "I can help her," he said. The king leaned forward, his voice low and sharp. "If you fail, human, your life ends here." Marcus met his gaze without flinching. "Then I won't fail," he said, and with that, the race to save the alien princess began. Healing against time. Marcus stood beside the princess's bed. Her skin had a faint silver sheen, her chest rising only in shallow breaths. Every few seconds, her fingers twitched slightly, a sign the disease was spreading. Alien healers lined the walls, their silver robes whispering as they moved. They watched him with cold, suspicious eyes. One of them stepped forward. "You do not understand Virellian bodies. Human, your crude methods will kill her faster." Marcus ignored the insult. "Your methods already failed," he said calmly. "I've seen something like this before, in humans. It's caused by a toxin that shuts down the lungs." The king's gaze hardened. "You said you can treat her. Then treat her." Marcus nodded. "I can make a serum, but I need certain ingredients." He pulled out his portable scanner and began listing items. The alien healers exchanged uneasy glances. One item in particular, a blossom from the late plant, caused a murmur in the room. The chief healer shook his head. "That flower grows only in the royal gardens, guarded by night fangs." Marcus frowned. They are venomous beasts, quick and silent," the healer said. "No one enters that section without the king's command." The king rose from his throne. "Then you will have my command. Take him to the gardens. If he returns without the flower, he does not return at all." Minutes later, Marcus found himself walking through a corridor that opened into a vast glass-domed garden. The air inside was thick and humid, alien plants twisted in strange shapes, glowing faintly in the dim light. His guide, a palace guard, pointed toward the farthest corner. "There. That is where the lathris blooms." Then the guard stepped back. "We do not go further." Marcus gripped his medkit and moved carefully through the foliage. Every sound seemed louder in the still air. A branch snapped behind him. He froze. From the shadows, two glowing eyes appeared. Low to the ground, the night fang moved with deadly grace. It was sleek, dark, with long fangs glistening in the dim light. Marcus slowly pulled a flare from his kit and struck it to life. The sudden light startled the creature. It hissed, then slipped back into the shadows. He didn't waste the moment. He reached the lathyrus plant, a cluster of deep blue flowers that shimmered like crystal. Carefully, he cut one blossom and sealed it inside a container. The air behind him shifted. Another night fang lunged. Marcus swung the flare in a wide arc. Forcing it back, he ran, crashing through the plants until he reached the garden's exit. The guard slammed the gate shut behind him. "You're lucky to be alive," he said. Marcus held up the sealed flower. Luck had nothing to do with it. Back in the princess's chamber, the alien healers reluctantly handed him their tools. He worked quickly, mixing the serum using both human and alien equipment. The king stood close, his eyes never leaving Marcus's hands. Finally, Marcus injected the serum into the princess's arm. Now there was nothing to do but wait. The healers whispered that it wouldn't work. The king remained silent, his expression unreadable. Minutes passed. The princess's breathing stayed shallow. Then her hand moved, just a little, but enough for Marcus to notice. He looked up at the king. "It's working," he said. The king's favor. The chamber was silent. Everyone's eyes were on the princess. Her breathing grew stronger, the silver tint fading from her skin. A faint color returned to her cheeks. The alien healers stared in disbelief. One of them stepped closer and scanned her. It is true," he whispered. "The toxin is gone." King Valen moved to his daughter's side. He touched her hand gently. "Saranya," he said softly. Her eyelids fluttered open. She blinked up at him, her voice weak but clear. "Father." The king's usually stern face softened. He looked at Marcus for a long moment. The silence in the room was heavy. Finally, he spoke. "You saved my daughter when our greatest healers could not." He stepped forward, placing a hand firmly on Marcus's shoulder. "You have my gratitude and my favor." Murmurs rippled through the court. Some bowed their heads in respect. Others exchanged sharp, uneasy glances. It was no secret that many in the royal circle did not want a human in the king's trust. The chief healer broke the moment, his voice cold. "This does not mean humans are superior, my king." Valen's gaze turned hard. "It means that this human was the only one who did not let my daughter die." Marcus kept his tone respectful. "She is strong, but the recovery will take time." He handed the king a small vial. "Give her a dose of this each day for the next week. It will keep the sickness from returning." The king nodded. "You will remain in the palace until I say otherwise," he said. "From this day, you are under my protection." As Marcus left the chamber, he could feel eyes following him, some curious, some filled with quiet hostility. In the corridors, whispers chased him like shadows. A guard leaned close as they walked. "You should watch yourself, doctor," he said quietly. "There are those here who would rather see you gone, or dead." Later that night, Marcus stood on a balcony overlooking the glowing city. The twin suns had set, and the capital was lit by thousands of crystal lights. He thought of the princess sleeping peacefully, and of the king's unexpected trust. Then he heard soft footsteps behind him. Turning, he saw the royal advisor who had first suggested bringing him. The man's voice was low, urgent. "You have made a powerful friend and dangerous enemies." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "I'm a doctor. I save lives. That's all I did." The advisor shook his head. "Here, saving a life can start a war." Before Marcus could reply, a sharp hiss cut through the air. A small dart struck the wall, just inches from his head. The advisor's eyes widened. "They've already started." Marcus's hand tightened on the railing. He looked out over the city, his mind clear. Saving the princess had changed his life, but it had also marked him, and on Virellia, marks like that could be fatal.